Hey guys, this is Letter. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars Empire at War video. Now, this is actually the first time we've been playing Thrawn's Revenge without streaming it, but that's because I want to try something a little bit different today. Instead of just doing a basic playthrough, I want to sort of combine my love for Empire at War with my love for Star Wars Legends lore. And in doing so, I'm going to check out a new game mode within the mod that we don't often feature on this channel despite its immense potential, and that is the Fleet Builder. So before I get started, I just want to say, if you have future ideas that you'd like to see me bring to life with this, whether it's custom fleet battles or whatever else, please let me know. So the Empire at War Fleet Battle simulator, or whatever you call it, is actually a little bit hidden. You've got to go to the Galactic Conquest menu. Most people just go straight for the air progressive stuff. We're going to do some historic conflicts pretty soon. But instead you go right here, instant action / fleet builder. The difficulty in this doesn't matter. You have to set your faction to the Empire, I think.
Mission log update.
And then you just click begin. So this is a really cool part of the mod that Corey actually put together in like a day or two. Mostly, I think, because I asked him to, and he was like, yeah, that's probably something I could do.
Enemy forces ahead.
It's pretty cool, so I'll show you guys how it works. What you can do is simulate, like it says, fleet battles. So we've got Hapen ships right here. We've got Imperial ships right here. And over here is New Republic ships. They're just like this little floating icon. So I thought it'd be interesting to see which Star Destroyer in Empire at War Thrawn's Revenge is the dominant one. This is basically the whole New Republic fleet here. We've got the Nebula Star Destroyer right there, the Endurance class right there, which is more carrier focused, and a ton of other ships. So let's go ahead and just do something basic. We will do the, let's just see where it is, the Imperial, that's the Tector. Let's do the, is there only one ISD? Oh no, here's the ISD 2. We'll put the ISD 2 versus, let's say the Nebula. I've been saying the Nebula, let's cancel that. I've been saying the Nebula needs a bit of a buff, so I think this will be a good test of that. So to actually start the battle, you hit this. I have no idea why, it's just kind of one of the little intricacies of the mod, I guess. Or not intricacies, one of the little oddities, is what I meant. So this is an interesting battle. The Imperial 2 Star Destroyer is, as I talk about often in my lore videos, an extraordinarily blunt weapon. You can see these big, sorry, my mic is in the way, so I'm having trouble scrolling. You can see these big octuple barbette turbo lasers. There's a lot of firepower here. Plus you've got guns that are at the brim of the ship, across the surface, mostly dedicated to anti-capital ship duties, as the turbo lasers are largely replacing point defense cannons of the ISD-1. So right now the Nebula is actually running, which is a little bit odd. I don't know if it thinks that we're more powerful than it, but I guess we'll find out. You can see the Nebula Star Destroyer, on the other hand, was basically a part of a general trend of the New Republic in the New Class project to create a variety of ships based on the same general design. So the Nebula, for example, is very similar to the Endurance. It's got the same base, but the Endurance is more well-suited for fleet carrying roles, while the Nebula is more of an all-around capital ship.
Nowhere to go.
I would say this isn't how I imagined the first battle would go, with the Nebula just completely facing in the wrong direction, but it should nonetheless be an interesting test. The Nebula can probably outfire an ISD just in DPS, but I would guess in this mod at least that it's got weaker defenses. And I would say that may be why he attempted to run, just to make things fair, because he's not facing us for some reason. I'm gonna go up on the broadside. But the ISD is slightly larger. It's certainly a lot more inefficient in terms of things like crew capacity and whatnot. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Your command, sir. Heading to destination. We're moving out.
It's actually the edge of the map, so I don't really know why he's doing this, but it's not quite the edge of the map. Can you?
Speed.
No.
Move out.
There we go. See, I'm going to guess that my prediction about the Nebula being not quite powerful enough is going to turn out to be correct. It operates more as a, not quite a support ship in this game, but more of a, it is more of a secondary, like you don't want Nebulas on your first line. You want something like the MC-90 really soaking up fire, while the Nebula kind of sits back, you know, uses its cannons, launches its fighters, etc. I mean, it's got B-Wings, which are great bombers, and then the Defender class starfighter, which I think in canon is sort of a cheaper alternative to the, let's see if we can get one. Sort of a cheaper alternative to the X-Wing, but I can't really remember. Really ugly ships, though. Like, what you see there is basically what they look like. So yeah, we're definitely going to win this. We're cracking through the shield already. To be fair, though, Star Destroyers are just ISD's devastating broadsides, but I do think the Nebula could use a bit of a buff, but I'm also a little biased because it's one of my favorite ships. But I mean, it's expensive. It is 16 cost, and I think it's 7.5 grand, maybe. Alright, let's just get this done. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out because we know what's going to happen. There's no way for the Nebula to recover, and I'll just cut to our next battle. Alright, so here's our next matchup. Let me just click go live now. Well, it's not technically a Star Destroyer. Right now we have the MC-90. Basically the New Republic's first attempt at a fully militarized Mon Calamari cruiser going against the Imperial II Star Destroyer again. I say fully militarized because there were, of course, other Star Destroyer or other Mon Calamari ship models. We have, you know, for example, the MC-80B or just the regular MC-80, but those were ultimately retrofits of or refits of civilian craft. In Legends, they were mostly like luxury liners or spaceships used for other purposes, and then later reconfigured into warships. The MC-90 was different. Kind of curious. This battle, I think, will be a bit closer.
Those torpedo launchers must be destroyed.
The problem with trying to fight an Imperial Star Destroyer is that the ship succeeds so well, or so often in exactly this type of situation, where it's just a head-to-head battle. Actually, looks like the MC-90 might take this one. And that's even with us kind of sneaking up from behind. But yeah, the ISD is really, especially if it used its shield boost ability, which I guess it's not going to use. Actually, we'll have more hard points, so we might take this. Yeah, Star Destroyers are just so well suited for this kind of head-to-head, one-on-one battle. And the best way to take ships like this out as the Alliance is to focus on fighter carrying. Even a couple squads of Y-Wings would have made this much easier. The MC-90 may still take this. I've purposely kind of went out of my way not to control the cannons. Obviously, if I was playing as the MC-90, my tactics would probably be to take out the engine and move away from this kind of dead zone here. But also, these giant barbettes, that's what you want to aim for. So yeah, I think we will actually succeed here just because we do have more firepower remaining, and it's kind of a snowball effect. As you take out more of their cannons, then, you know, they become less and less effective. So
Star Destroyer reporting.
oh, he actually got his shield back.
Priority is the laser cannons.
I don't know what my AI-controlled Star Destroyer was doing there, but he gave him a chance. Somehow we gained fighter dominance, which is really surprising. Oh, now he's doing something interesting.
The lasers are our target. Attack commences at the ready. Await
So actually, it seems like he's kind of trying to do that strategy that I suggested earlier. He's getting in the sort of Star Destroyer's weak spot. Our whole side now has basically been
awaiting your command.
really weakened. I don't know why you're not listening to me, dude. But we still have a lot of guns on this side, including even these rear-facing turbo lasers. Let's take those engines out.
Fire.
I've been hit. TIE squadron here. Take out those engines.
He's smart. He's taking distance and using that time to try to get his shield back up. His shield should recharge faster than mine.
Destroy the engines. Direct fire on the engines.
Let's chase. The AI must be running because they think that our ship is more powerful. Which, in this case, you know, they're not necessarily wrong. However, a well-used MC-90, it just has so much survivability. You see, too, how quickly the ships can move. If you've watched my current Thrawn's Revenge playthrough, one thing you'll see me do is have like a line of MC-90s up at the front of the battle. As they take damage, just quickly move them out towards the back of the formation, let them get their shields back up, and yeah. Then eventually they can slot back in because their shields will retreat pretty quickly, or sorry, will recover pretty quickly. Yeah, we still have these big cannons here, so that will tear apart the unshielded Mon Calamari ship.
Our target priority is the laser cannons.
Alright, so let's move on to our next one. Alright, so this next one is probably obvious in how it will end up, but I just wanted to compare. The AI is still running, which is surprising. I just want to compare a old carrier, the Venator. This is the, what did it say it was called? The Brass Bound, and a new ship, the Endurance, which is basically the new class version of, well, it's the carrier version of the Nebula, basically. So I want to see how the weapons compare, how the carried fighters compare. Obviously, we're at a pretty significant disadvantage, just because we are the Empire. Our fighters are a lot worse. I'll have to ask Corey how come units are retreating in this. There must be some sort of space station or something that's causing, or there's something going on that's causing a bit of interference. But either way, not a huge deal. I've noticed when I try with larger numbers too, it might be because I'm trying to do one-on-one battles, so maybe after this we'll try something a little different. I don't know what you guys are doing over here, but let's bring the Venator up to mauling distance. See these big double cannons firing. Yeah, he's at quite a disadvantage just because the AI is doing this weird behavior, but we're not really doing a whole lot to their shield. Also, just to be fair, because they've left their fighters back, I'll do the same. Actually, you know what? Here. So here we go. We're still doing much better than I expected, actually. But once we get in range of this, to be fair, mostly ion cannon, or mostly laser cannons and ion cannons. So the main asset of the Endurance is definitely its carrying capacity. So, but still, if the Endurance loses this, I think the ship definitely needs a buff. And it actually seems like that's what's going to happen here. Ideally, the Endurance should trade some firepower for extra carrying capacity, but it should still be able to stand up to the Venator. I mean, definitely. Can't tractor beam it, can I? No. Can you tractor beam starfighters? I forget now. So maybe that's why he was running. They thought that the Venator was more powerful, and looks like they might have been right. because this thing does not have very many hard points either. Speaking of, let's take out the engine so we don't have to chase it across the map. But yeah, we're gonna actually win this, I think. No, definitely, we're definitely gonna win this. That's really loud. I gotta say, this one truly surprised me. Because not only did the Venator win, but it won handily. So that's a little weird.
Mission log updated.
Alright, so this time I want to try something interesting. Let's go ahead and take a... So we got the Bellator, which would be fun. Let's try an Allegiance, which is basically a upsized ISD. Upsized Tector, specifically. Let's put it against
Upgrade in progress.
a small
Upgrade complete.
new
Upgrade complete.
New Republic Taskforce.
Upgrade in progress.
Basically just do small Star Destroyer task forces for each side.
Complete. Upgrade in progress.
We'll give you
Upgrade
an
in
assault
progress.
frigate. That'll be good.
Upgrade complete.
So we will
Standing by.
Upgrade
have that.
complete.
We will maybe give... What would an Allegiance be protected by? In Dark Empire, we see them with ships that look like Acclimators, so I'll give them 2 of those. Let's give it an MTC. We're going with the Dark Empire angle.
Complete.
And then maybe just...
Upgrade complete.
Why are you guys fighting? That's fine.
Commander. Open fire.
So this time the AI must think it can win. Or nope, it's still turning around. So the MTC is a weird ship. MTC stands for Modular Task Force Cruiser, and as you might suspect, these ships were highly modifiable. They could fit a bunch of different roles. And these things are going to go straight for my big cruiser, and if they do that, it's not good for them. Or it's not good for me, sorry. They're actually probably right to run in this situation. Although the MTC sucks. It's just terrible. There's not a whole lot good that I can say about it.
Targeting their weapon systems.
I'll move the Allegiance up. I think we got enough fighters being produced by the MTC that we're actually kind of... Are they turning around now, maybe? Yeah. They're turning around to engage. But these droid fighters are providing our bigger ships with some cover. But it looks like they're going to try to engage us, which should be interesting.
Intercepting. Nowhere to run. I'm on them.
Attacking primary target.
Let's take out the Bothan Assault Frigate first. It's really kind of ruins the new class fleet aesthetic because this was more of a... I'm pretty sure that the Bothan Assault Cruiser or Frigate didn't really feature until... I don't think it was until just before the Yuuzhan Vong War. I could be wrong about that, but...
Gunship reporting.
Cruiser here. I have them.
I copy.
I'm just gonna let them do their thing. What's that endurance doing? Just going for a rip.
Reporting. Cover me now.
Targeting the enemy hangar base.
Target locked. Eliminate.
So the Allegiance is kind of like the exact opposite of the Nebula. They're both extremely powerful ships, but whereas the Nebula is focused on efficiency, making the most per square foot, the Allegiance basically just takes everything of the ISD and upsizes it. You can see 2 extra sets of the big barbettes on each flank of the superstructure. You can see instead of having a hangar at the bottom, it opts for more armor and a larger power generator bulb. So yeah, it's not exactly a neat ship, if you know what I mean. So the MTCs are just passing right through. They have taken some pretty significant damage, or the MTC and the 2 escort ships.
Engines are malfunctioning.
Right now the Allegiance is trying to stand up to these two ships.
Disabling their engines.
Our primary engine system is down.
Disabling their engines.
Let's move out.
I think a good commander could win this for the rebel side. Unfortunately, that functionality is not in this yet. But I think I will probably beat the AI here
Our launch bay has been
without really doing too much micromanaging. He's going to be broadsiding both of these. Although I will say the Nebula is actually doing some pretty...
turbo lasers.
You know what? We might actually not be able to do this.
Reporting in. Our target priority is the laser cannons.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, because he's ripped through our shield, so... Got the Sashins there, providing some extra fire support. So yeah, I'd say they'll take this. Those Corellian gunships. Very classy.
Our engines are destroyed, sir.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get through that endurance either. Definitely underestimated the endurance's shields there. Alright, let's speed it up a bit.
They've destroyed our torpedo launcher. Losing power. We've lost our launch bay.
Our engines have been disabled.
They took out our lasers.
Kind of curious to see whether they've got the firepower needed to finish me off, though. I mean, they've got a lot of starfighters, so I would imagine. Yeah, I can't even hit the Nebula right now. All right, so we'll give that to the New Republic, their first victory so far, and we're proving, unsurprisingly, that the Imperial Star Destroyer really is, you know, everything it's cracked up to be. Let's go ahead and try the... let's try the Bellator, because I haven't really played with that ship in this mod.
The enemy has been spotted.
Let's do that. So I'll put the Bellator against a New Republic battle group, because they don't really have
Upgrade.
anything comparable size to the Bellator. They've got the Viscount, but that's much larger. It's a whole different class. So I'll give them, let's say, one MC90,
Complete.
let's say 2 Nebulas, 1 Endurance,
Upgrade.
and a couple of Majestics. I think that's a relatively realistic...
Upgrade. Complete.
Well, a proper New Republic fleet would have lots of Corvettes and stuff, but I don't think those are really going to
Complete.
make any major difference. And we're worried about Star Destroyers here, so...
Awaiting
Alright.
your orders. Let's go.
It's like they're turning around again. It's a little frustrating, but it's fine.
Keep going.
We're dancing? You don't want to be chased down by a Super Star Destroyer, if it can catch you anyway.
Course set.
So the Bellator is smaller than most Super Star Destroyers, but it's much you know, more maneuverable and much faster, and still does have a lot of firepower in its own right. So it is a bit of a trade-off, but it's also less expensive. The standard SSD in this game is 70 population cap, and this is 54. So you can support it with more vessels, which can watch it do this weird dance thing. All right, please stop.
Attacking target.
Let's move right on to the fleet. I mean, it's still not super quick, but, you know, a proper SSD, like an Executor, has literally, like, no tactical mobility in battle, so this is a improvement upon that.
Bombs away.
Alright,
Commander.
so that poor Endurance is in range, and things aren't going to go well for that. The fleet itself is actually now moving into position, but I don't think they're going to have enough to... We'll see, actually. With their starfighters, they might. But yeah. Wow, we pounded through that Endurance. Like these Majestics too, like I'll just focus fire on them for a second and yeah. Get to those 2 main concussion missile launchers and not good. Let's move even further up so we can bring these rear weapons into effect. Powering through this Nebula. Oh yeah, they don't have a chance. I mean, even if they brought these fighters in,
Form up. Moving to coordinates.
So far, what I would say now, for anyone who's having trouble in their New Republic campaign and is in the sort of post-Dark Empire era, I would say focus on keep the MC-90 as the main ship in your fleet. And this is useful information for me to know for my campaign. I'm probably not going to use the Nebula very much because it doesn't seem to offer, especially for 2 extra population, it doesn't seem to offer much that the MC-90 can't. It's got less survivability. It doesn't carry that many fighters, so probably stick with endurances for fighter carrying and MC-90s for my Star Destroyer analog.
Copy. Fire at will.
And we'll just absolutely shred this thing. The MC-90 lasted far longer than anything else. But I think the result of this battle is known, so we'll just go ahead and set up the next one.
Mission log updated.
Enemy unit sighted.
Alright, so this time we're going to do something a little bit different. Let's drop in a Viscount, the New Republic's mighty dreadnought, I should say, and have that face off against. Oh man, that thing's coming in close. Have that face off against just a bunch of Star Destroyers. Let's say 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Upgrade in progress.
6,
Upgrade
7.
in progress. Upgrade complete.
Actually, let's cancel.
Upgrade cancelled.
This is a population of 70, and each Star Destroyer is what?
Reporting.
12. So let's do 12 times 5 is 60. Let's just do 6 of them.
Vigilance standing by.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Now this will be interesting. I will also, just for, I don't even know if they'll be active, but I'll give them a couple carriers too, just because
Upgrade.
you wouldn't normally have the Viscount unsupported.
Upgrade complete.
That is a big boy. All right, let's have the battle. Just immediately, that thing got shredded. If you guys want to, after this, we can do the Viscount versus the Executor. It won't be super pretty just because the ships come in really close to each other, but
Our primary engine system is down.
I am a little surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I did not think that I didn't think the Viscount would have that much firepower. I mean, I knew it would have a lot, like Super Star Destroyer level, but that thing is shredded 2 Star Destroyers already. We're down
Yes, Commander.
a lot already, 33% almost
The iron cannons
for
are
our fleet.
online.
I mean, part of it was the fact that we did sort of put it in like the absolute ideal position for fighting off a fleet like this, in the middle where it could focus all of its fire on each ship. But on the other hand, we also gave it the chance to,
The lasers have been
we gave it the chance to, or sorry, our ships had the chance to also put all their guns on it, so obviously for your money, the Viscount is not a bad choice. So we had 6 ships, that's 72 pop, and yeah, we're not even going to get, well, actually we will get through the shields, but we won't do much through the shields.
all fire the missile launchers.
To be fair though, you're never supposed to fight a Super Star Destroyer like this. You always want to have as many starfighters as possible. The shields go down really quickly like that.
System is down.
Watch, the fire's just going to shift to us. Yeah. It's an ISD. These all ISD ones? Not that it really matters. Didn't even need those reserve fighters either.
Awaiting your command.
Interesting that the Viscount doesn't have an engine module.
Our target priority is the laser cannons. They've taken out our launch bay.
So you're next, I guess. Alright, let's speed this up, but yeah. This one's been decided as well, especially as these starfighters get into the battle. Gotta say, I do love the death animation on these. Just cracks, just slides down towards the planet. Even the Quasar is getting cheeky. Let's take that down at the very least. I don't know why, but the Quasar is actually kind of one of my favorite starfighters. Or, sorry, capital ships, or not really capital ships, carriers, I guess. I guess it's kind of a capital ship. Alright, we're going to call this one. Let's just end it off with like a big battle. Just keep it simple. Or I said I would do the Viscount versus the Executor, but I'll save that for another video. If you guys enjoy this, that is.
Mission log updated.
Look, sir, it's them.
Alright, let's just... I'm gonna make my perfect fleet. Let's see. So it'll be 3 ISDs.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade
2 Venators.
Upgrade complete.
Let's say 3 dreadnoughts, just for that Thrawn vibe. Thrawn vibe check.
Complete. Upgrade in
Secutor.
progress.
Some
Upgrade in progress.
strike
Upgrade
cruisers
in
also for
progress.
that Thrawn vibe check.
Upgrade complete.
Couple Lancers.
Upgrade complete.
Vigilance standing by.
And
Complete.
I love the Gladiator. I don't know why. We'll buy 1 Gladiator,
Progress.
1 Pro Crusader, 2
Upgrade
victories.
in progress.
And let's make a similar fleet for the New Republic now.
We await your
Upgrade
orders.
complete.
Okay, so let's give them 3, or give them 1 MC-80 home ones.
Upgrade in progress.
We will give them,
Complete.
let's say, 2 MC-80s.
Upgrade
So
complete.
yeah, 1 of these. Then 1 of these.
In progress.
Let's give them 2 Endurances.
Upgrade complete.
Let's give them
Upgrade complete.
3 or 2
Upgrade
Both,
in
no,
progress.
2 Both assault frigates.
Complete. Upgrade
Majestic.
complete. Upgrade
Say, we still need to account for the dreadnought, so I'll give them 2 more of these.
progress. Upgrade complete.
1 Nebula.
Complete. Upgrade complete.
Maybe,
Upgrade in progress.
there we go. Let's
Upgrade
just add a little to the Imperial side as well.
Upgrade
With a Praetor class battlecruiser and the Eclipse. No, I'm just joking.
complete. Upgrade in progress.
Say these are some nice battle groups. I don't know if this is going to lag at all. Maybe not.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, let's do it. The battle begins. And they're running, I think. Yeah, they're running. Come on, don't run. Make it fun.
Cover me now.
Okay, you can move.
Vigilance standing by.
You can move this. At the end of the battle, I'll drop in a couple of Nova Cruisers just for
Returning to your
giggles.
position.
I have them now.
I'll take care of this. Watch for enemy ships. Getting
Whatever's left, we'll have to fight.
down.
The Starhome, 5 Battle Dragons,
Let's finish.
3 Nova Cruisers, and a few Beta Cruisers.
Eliminating target.
I'm hit.
I've got them in my sights. Coming back around for
Taking
another
fire.
target locked.
We're being targeted. I've been hit.
They're not really using their fighters, are they?
Getting a lock.
There's something about, like, seeing a formation of Star Destroyers moving up to engage an enemy that's just very pleasing. Also, wow, that victory's been taking it. Bruh.
Cruiser online.
Squad, move in.
You let the squad down. Look at that Majestic. Very brave and very dumb.
Get behind them. Batteries online. Taking fire.
My scopes are
Warm
jammed.
up. Locking on. Firing.
Taking
Enemies
them out.
in range.
Destroyer here.
We already know how this one's gonna end up.
Eliminating target.
Copy. Heading to destination. I copy. The lasers are our target.
Target locked.
I just realized I didn't really give the. I didn't really account for the secular there, did I? Let's just give them a couple more ships.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Could just be that I'm biased as well. And I want to see my precious New Republic win, even when I'm fighting them. Love just the random ass assortment of ships we now have.
Star Destroyer reporting in. Yes, Commander. We're moving.
Ships do not like moving in formations this tight.
Weapons ready. Awaiting orders.
Awaiting orders.
Go after enemies in range.
Endurance is getting tough up there. I don't know what it's thinking.
Eliminating target. Losing power.
Taskforce are ready. Firing turbo
Oh, yeah, they're definitely gonna win this. I gave them too many ships. It's still fun to watch. Pretty critical. Could make many critiques against the AI strategy right now.
He's headed your direction. I've got him. Attack formation.
So I just gotta take a screenshot of that because that's awesome.
Losing control. My scopes are jammed. I can't switch position. Where are the others?
They've taken out our
Shields
launch
almost
pad.
gone. I've got him.
Something very beautiful about just ships interweaving and just firing at each other.
Awaiting your orders.
Just get in there. Everyone just get in. Meet your new neighbors. Have a grand old time. I really like the Dauntless. I kind of like the aesthetic of it within New Republic fleets. Wow, that ship went down pretty easy.
Yes, sir. Navigating to coordinate target.
I might have actually... We might have a chance here. They've got a lot of starfighters, though. See, a trio of dreadnoughts, you can move the galaxy with that. That's Bellator. Nah, we can't get through. This is too many shielded ships. Just all these Moncal cruisers. Still got the big one back there as well. Yeah, that Star Destroyer's almost dead. This victory is fine. You're almost dead. You're almost dead. You are dead now. People always ask me which ship would I command in Star Wars. I think the Gladiator would be one of them. Big fan of this thing. Nice hybrid carrier. Pretty practically designed. Smaller, more manageable than a regular Star Destroyer. What's not to love?
Our primary engine system is down. Our turbo laser batteries have been disabled.
There's Big Poppy coming in. Secular is just trying and failing to get through the shields of that MC-90.
Your command, sir. Commander. Destroy the engines.
Yeah, so this is going to be a big L for us.
Watch for enemy ships.
But I'll let it play out. And I'll probably be quiet at this point. Let the battle finish out. I hope you guys enjoyed this different kind of video. Mostly I wanted to show you guys the potential of the fleet builder mode. So if there's something you'd like to see in the future, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. These videos are fun for me to make. Maybe we could do like custom fleet battles or something, especially if I talk to Corey about getting the AI to more readily fight each other. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. So until next time, please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like on this video. Turn notifications on, importantly, so you don't miss live streams. And may the Force be with you.
I'll take care of this.
Our engines are on, sir.
We'll have those on our target. Enemies are about
Lasers are destroyed.
to be destroyed.
We must
Where are the others? Shields almost gone. Take it out. Watch for enemy ships.
They've destroyed our lasers.
Pursuing enemy forces. Where you go? Go after them. He's heading your direction. Attack formation.
They've destroyed our torpedo launcher.
Shields almost taking fire.
They took out our lasers. Cover me now. Our engines are destroyed.
Upgrade in progress.
Target. You shall know pain. I've got him.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Coming back around for another run.
Cannons are offline. Reporting in.
I've got him.
Taking out our launch bay.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Roger that.
Upgrade complete.
Intercepting. No one
Upgrade
commands me.
complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress.
Around my side.
Upgrade in progress.
Nowhere to run.
Upgrade complete.
Got him.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Under control. Locking on.
Upgrade in progress.
What?
Upgrade complete.
Form up.
Attack formation. Interceptor squad reporting. Go after the watch for enemy ships. Regroup for another attack. Go after them. Stay in formation. Gun them down. Watch him. He's coming around. Regroup. I'm hit. Unable to shake them. Get behind them. Fire. Enemies in range. We're being targeted.
Destroyer here.
I have
Upgrade
them now.
in progress.
Got him. Target locked.
Upgrade complete.
Returning to your position. Crush the rebellion.
Upgrade complete.
No one survives. There is a great disturbance. Coming around. The force. Target critical. I'll take